Hey, some of you guys have been asking me to make an in-depth video with my 3.5-inch intake for my Kraftwerks. And so here it is. Here's the original. And here's the new one. And as far as I know, this will work. Also work on the 8th gen. You just need to relocate your battery. And so let's start off by seeing how long the intake is from this side of the bend. Okay. So it's about 9.5 inches until you get to the beginning of the bend on the pipe. And now it doesn't really have to be exact. In fact, this was a little bit longer than I expected, and it happened to be a little bit more difficult to fit in my engine bay, but still fit it. You can probably take about an inch off of this if you wanted to, and it'll still work fine. Now on the other side, let's see. It's about 4 inches to the bend itself. And the exact same thing, it doesn't have to be exact. You can probably take about another inch off, still be fine. And so if you're wondering, this bend right here is actually about 45 degrees. So that's pretty important, actually. You have to keep this bend. That's what the original was, which I figured out. So yeah, 9.5 inches, or 8 to 9.5, 8.5 to 9.5 inches, and 3.5 to 4.5 inches on this side. And if you're wondering about the coupler, of course it's a 3.5 on this end. This goes to the actual Rotrex itself. Let's figure out how many inches that is. So it's about a 3-inch coupler. Oh, you guys can see a 3-inch coupler. Now, depending on what filter you guys use, I didn't really reuse the filter again that came with the kit. In fact, this is actually left over from my hybrid racing intake that I just reused here. It's a 3-inch velocity stack, straight down into the filter. And this came off a hybrid racing. So, yeah. Now, another important thing is, I'm running a J37 throttle body. And so, I don't know how it's different from the stock, since I never had to kit with the stock, but, this is the problem I ran into when I ran into the J37. This bracket never really helped. This kept on hitting the throttle by itself, and over time, it pretty much made a hole. So on this one, I took another clamp, went to Home Depot, took a bracket, cut it into pretty much this semi-rectangle, put it there, and it raised the whole intake itself enough so that it doesn't scratch or anything. So yeah. Now a little bit about the MAP sensor. You truly do not need this piece. I just want it there to keep a place to keep the MAP sensor. In fact, out of this making this whole intake, this part itself is the most expensive. This little pipe right here I had the MAP hole was about $110. This part was like 20 bucks. This part was like probably like 30 bucks. And this part I just started like $10. But yeah, this is the most expensive part, pretty much. So I'd say in all, piecing together the parts and everything to make this intake, probably cost it around 180. That's just the parts. The labor was about another $50, so about $230 in all to make this intake. Wasn't too bad. You can probably get it. You can get it way cheaper though if you don't get this little mass sensor pipe. It's not really needed, especially when you're gonna wire up a intake air temp sensor. And so I'm also gonna get an in-depth look, since some of you guys were asking, of my IAT sensor and BOV. So here it is, the IAT sensor. It's a B series IAT sensor. I just bought it online, debunked for about $20. Sensor was about 15, and the pigtail was about 7. Basically, you really just take off the pipe and put it right here. It would be a very good position, right before the throttle body, as they always recommend. Now, I don't remember what wires I spliced into for the sensor, but Honda has a good DIY on that. It's not that hard. So yeah, for the placement of the B series IAT, right before the TB would be perfect. And so for the blow valve, here it is, my TL blow valve. It's a 50 mil Q blow valve. And basically, on the 9th gens, I'm not sure about 8s, 9th gens, wherever your stock bypass was is a perfect location for it. It doesn't hit anything. You just take it to someone who can weld, makes charge piping. Just tell them to put it here, and they'll put it in for you. It only costed me about 40 bucks. Same thing with the IAT sensor. It wasn't that hard. But yeah, right there is perfect location. Doesn't hit anything. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.